Konnichiwa, hello and welcome. This is Roy at Godzilla98, and today I have yet another super cool, really awesome figure to review for you guys today, and that is the Hiya Toys Exquisite Basic Godzilla King of the Monsters 2019 King Ghidorah Gravity Beam version. And yeah, this is a really awesome figure, highly recommended, better than the SH Monsters version, and I got some things to say about it. So let's get things started. And now here we have the Hiya Toys Exquisite Basic Godzilla King of the Monsters King Ghidorah 2019 Gravity Beam version figure right here before us in all of its three-headed evil space monster glory. Of course, as you can see, this is a well-detailed, well-sculpted figure, sculpted by Hiya Toys, I guess. Unfortunately, this figure is too big for me to review all in one cut. So, just like every other kaiju Godzilla figure, the ones that are highly detailed and highly articulated, I will be reviewing this figure, going throughout different portions of the body, starting with the upper body portion of the figure, working my way down to the lower body portion of the figure, and then getting a more fuller, in-depth view of the figure. So let's get started. And now, starting things off with the upper body portion of the figure the best way I can, because this figure is so freaking massive. Just to get a good look at the detail before we go over articulation. As you can see, this is a solid gold variant of the Hiya Toys Exquisite Basic 2019 King Ghidorah. Now, of course, this is basically gold painted. This is not actual real solid gold. So yeah, for those of you looking for a figure made out of a real actual gold, yeah, sorry to disappoint, but this is not it. And I'm more than sure it would be extremely way more expensive if that was the case. But anyway, as you can see, this figure does have some really sharp detailing, and I would say this is a little bit more movie accurate than the SH Monster Arts version of this figure, and also it is more posable than the SH Monster Arts figure, although this one does come with stands. But in order to stand this figure up and display him properly, it does not necessarily require them, as you can see. So that is a definite plus with this figure. Plus, you're going to get this for a much lower price tag than the SH Monster Arts version, which is much appreciated. The only downside with this figure is the fact that I had to make modifications to it and cut the membranes inside the jaws, because yeah, the membranes kept coming out of place and preventing me from being able to close the mouths correctly. So I did have to trim the membranes down, so that was unfortunate. So, I'm hoping, with the future variations of this figure that Hiya Toys has coming up, I do hope that is an issue that they fix, which I'm more than sure they will, and I am definitely looking forward to the future variations of this figure, because I will try my best to pick them up. But anyway, going over further detail, we can see the snake-like underbelly sculpted into the neck, running down from the top of the bottom of the jaws to all the way down to his torso, to his belly, and then all the way down to the tip of his tail. You can see that's and snake-like reptile-like underbelly that he has, much like you would see like mostly on a snake. I know he's falling over, but anyway, we can also see that his heads, all three of his heads, are well sculpted as well. We can see his sharply detailed horns, which are mostly a pliable rubber flexible material. So I wouldn't say they're rubber, but I kind of feel like it. So it's more like a flexible plastic, I would say. So we do have that, and we can see some good detailing he has in his eyes. If you get a close look, uh, looks like he has some little bitty tiny small blood red eyes there. So yeah, looking really creepy, giving King Ghidorah that evil space monster look. So that is a definite plus. And of course, I already demonstrated his jaws are on a hinge, so we can open all three of those mouths there. And also, his tongues are articulated as well, so I can get them to move. Which this one's giving me trouble, so give me a second. There we go. Moving that tongue down, and then the last tongue here, if I can get it. Oh boy, it's giving me trouble. Oh boy. Okay, trying to get that tongue down. So give me 1 second. Might need to get like a little tool to get it. So give me a second. Okay, here we go. I got the fingernail file of my pocket knife, so bringing that down. So, yeah, now we got the tongues moved down. So, yeah, we can see how he looks with all three of his mouths open. So, yeah. And we can see his teeth are also well sculpted and well painted as well. So, that is another definite plus. So yeah, so far so good with this figure. Definitely gotta give give this figure, or Hiya Toys, all the credit where credit is due for this one. Also, we do have a fully segmented neck, so we do have a good range of articulation in all three necks, so we can move the heads forward like so, and then back like so. Might have to hold them, and we can, yeah, same thing. So we do have multiple ball joint segments in the heads or in the necks, so you could kind of pretend to braid his necks if you want to. So if you want to do that, you can. So yeah, yeah. The King Ghidorah is not a part of the Brady Bunch, so we're not going to do that. But anyway, it is doable. But also, we do have a ball joint in the top torso as well, so we do have torso articulation, but it is really stiff. And yeah, I'm poking my hands on the back spike, so I'm not even going to go there with it because this figure is so massive, because it's going to be way too heavy to handle like so. But anyway, maybe if I heat him up, but I gotta be careful I don't bust my TV screen in front of me, which is behind this figure with the spikes on the wings. But anyway, getting a look at the back of the figure, as you can see, we see the back neck spikes. Let me bring them forward so you guys can get a look at that. Now, one thing you do notice about the back neck spikes is the two side necks have a single row of spikes, while the middle neck has a double row of spikes, and they go all the way down to the back of the shoulders, to where they just taper off into individual rows and then split off into the tail. So I will get into that later on in this review. But anyway, getting back to the front of the figure, and yeah, the wings are coming apart a bit, but yeah, although yeah, this figure is kind of a bit hefty and a bit difficult to handle. It's not as hard to handle as the SH Monster Arts version, believe me. Because yeah, the SH Monster Arts version of this figure is a freaking nightmare to handle, I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, getting back to the front of the figure, the wings are articulated as well. They are on butterfly style ball joint hinges, so we can bring them forward and back. But I think I'm going to get into that when I get a wider view of the figure, because it's going to be kind of hard to show off at this angle. So with that said, I am now going to take a closer look at the lower body portion of the figure. So let's get to it. And now taking a closer look at the lower body portion of the figure, as you can see, the legs and the feet are well sculpted. You can see these small little spikes on the side of his hips. So yeah, that is a really good detailing. How he has those small little bony spikes on his hips. So yeah, Hiya Toys did a really good job with this one. Also, his knees are on a hinge joint, so he can move them forward and back like so. Same is true with the other legs, so we can bend those knees forward and back, as you are witnessing. We also have a ball joint in the hips, so we can kick forward about this much and then back down. Well, they kind of more, it's more like they rotate, but you get the point. So you can kick forward about that much and then back down. Oh boy. We also have a swivel joint in the knees as well, so we can swivel those knees all the way around a full 360 if we choose to. So we can do that. And as you can see, as I was turning the legs, the legs and the calves have some very sharply detailed muscle tone to them, so that is a definite plus. So yeah, Hiya Toys definitely went the whole 9 yards when sculpting this figure, and yeah, he's flopping over. So yeah, maybe his stands might be necessary after all, but not technically. But anyway, his feet are on hinges, so you can see our ankles are on hinges, as you are witnessing, and you can also swivel them all the way around a full 360. Same is true with the other ankle. So we do have symmetrical articulation with this figure, and we can swivel all the way around. And also his feet are on ball joints, so we can swivel them all the way around and rock them forward and back. Same is true with the other foot, so we can swivel that. Oh boy. Okay. This is getting okay. Let me lay them down. Okay, there we go. So I can swivel that foot all the way around and rock it forward and back if I want to. So yeah, that's pretty much concludes it for leg and foot articulation. Now for the tail, if I can demonstrate that. So the tail is comprised of multiple different ball joint segments. As you can see, I might have to hold them. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different ball joint segments in the tail, in each tail. So that's 20 tail segments you have if you combine the number of segments in both tails. So that is really good. So we can split the tails out like so. We can bring them up like so before they pop apart. So let me put that back on. Although it doesn't pop apart as nearly as much as the SH Monster Arts figure, but it is still good for what it is. And I gotta be careful because I'm putting little small scratches on my TV screen by accident. But anyway, yeah. But also we have his little bony spikes coming out of the end of his tail, looking really sharp. Very movie accurate, very realistic. So that is another detail I appreciate with this figure as well. There's not much There's not much that I don't appreciate with this figure, and I don't have very many nitpicks aside from a few things I feel like could be better, but I'm more than sure that Hiya Toys has or is addressing those issues as I speak, or has already addressed those issues for future variants of this figure. But anyway, that concludes it for the lower body portion of this figure, and now to get a fuller, more in-depth view of the figure. And now, right before we get a fuller, more in-depth view of the figure, I want to go over the detail of the wings and the wing articulation real quick. I know it's very difficult for me to get the whole thing in camera right now, especially with the sheer size of this figure and the space I have to work with. So, please, I just ask that you bear with me. But anyway, going over wing articulation, like I was mentioning earlier, the wings are on ball joint hinges and they do come apart, so we can do that. So we do have to be really careful with the wings because we don't want to break the hinges. So we can bring the wings down like so and then back up again, and we can even swivel them. Oh boy, wrong wing segment. So we can bring them back like so, and then forward again. So yeah, this is gonna be a pain in the butt, but anyway, trying to give you guys the best demonstration of wing articulation that I possibly can, because the wings can separate, and we can do sort of like a walking pose with the wings. So if I can separate the wings properly where I can do that. So yeah, just bear with me. I haven't opened these wings up in quite a while, so they're kind of stuck. So anyway, I'm gonna try to position them correctly. I do have to be careful to bend the hinges the right direction, so do be careful, because sometimes the hinges on the wing segments can be hard to see, so it is kind of tricky to do for some people, so, especially for me. So I'm going to try to get that, and then maybe if I can bring it forward like so. I know I'm probably doing this wrong, but anyway, I'm doing it the best way I can, alright? Put it that way. So, I know it's most likely not perfect, so. So. Or maybe, what the heck? Alright, what the heck? I'm just gonna put this part down and this part. Yeah, so. At least I can do it like that, so. We have that. So if I could bring my camera down a bit so we can see how I have them in like that walking pose. So that's the best I can do. I know it's probably not the most accurate as you would see in the movie, but I mean, that's the best I can pull off for now. So without accidentally breaking anything, because I have very limited space to work with right here, but I'm trying my best. And I already noticed I accidentally put a scratch in my screen behind me right there, but that's nothing. It's probably nothing I'm ever gonna really even notice anyway. But anyway, I'm trying my best to do this review for you guys and giving you guys a fuller view of this figure. Now, of course, I could bring out the gravity beams, but only I like 2 of them. That's good. And yeah, which I would need all 3, but I'm definitely gonna get the future variants of this figure if I can. So, especially for comparison purposes and stuff like that, and maybe to do some stop motion projects if I can and stuff like that. I thought one of his wing spikes broke, but yeah, it's just the tip of his wings where they lock into the other wing. I was just like, oh no, I accidentally broke the wing spikes, but that's not That's not what happened. It's just made like that. The wing specs are here on this wing. So yeah. So yeah, I didn't break anything. So yeah, this is overall good figure. And yeah, with that said, it is now time to get into my final verdict before I make this video longer than what it needs to be. So yeah, let's get to it. And now for my final verdict on the Hiya Toys Exquisite Basic Godzilla King of the Monsters Ghidorah 2019 Gravity Beam version here. If I have to give this figure a final score based on detail, articulation, and playability, I have to give him a fair but square, honest 4.5 stars. Why? Although I can't give this figure a perfect score because of the issue I talked about with the membranes, how I had to modify them because they kept popping out, but I'm more than sure that is an issue that Hiya Toys has addressed or is addressing with future variations of this figure. Other than that, I can't take any more points off. I feel like this figure is definitely good for what it is. It is definitely a solid, well-recommended figure, especially if you were a long-time Godzilla Kaiju fan and you are looking for a highly detailed, highly articulated 2019 King Ghidorah. This is definitely one of the best figures to seek out and pick up. Like I said, this is a leagues better than the SH Monsters version, plus it's cheaper. The SH Monsters version I do have, and I do have a review on that one. And believe you me, the SH Monsters version of this figure is a freaking nightmare to handle compared to this one. Not lying. As much as I love the way the SH Monsters version of this figure looks, I don't even far as like touching the thing. That's one of those figures that I talk about will freaking fall to pieces as far as if you look at it too hard. I'm not joking. Like literally. Like for those of you who have the SH Monsters 2019 King Ghidorah figures, you know that one is, you know, more of a overly expensive posable display piece than what it is a playable figure, to where you can pose it and fidget with it and use it for stop motion figure photography, unlike these figures here. So that's why if you do want a good, well detailed, highly articulated 2019 legendary King Ghidorah, go with the Hiya Toys. Avoid the SH Monsters versions at all costs, because those, like I said, are just mainly overly expensive posable display pieces. If you watch my review for the SH Monsters Godzilla 2019, SH Monsters Godzilla King of the Monsters 2019 King Ghidorah Special Color version, you will know why I give that one such a low score. Now, like I said, I can't give this one a perfect score, but the score that I gave this one is way higher than what I gave the SH Monsters version of this figure. Believe me. But anyway, that pretty much concludes it for this review. For those of you who've made it to this point in the video, thank you guys all so much for watching. Your viewership is much appreciated because that helps out the channel a lot. And if you want to help out this channel even more, like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want to help out this channel even further along, feel free to share this on your social media, like your Facebook, your X account, which used to be Twitter, even though everybody still calls it Twitter. So yeah, it was pointless to change the name after Elon Musk bought it out, because he likes to call everything X. But anyway, and even on the slap.com for all you Victorious fans out there. But anyway, that pretty much concludes it. So as always, love you all. Stay safe. God bless. Stay positive. Stay powered up. And peace out.